You know, pretty much everything that makes our modern world tick, from a tiny little pin to a massive skyscraper, comes straight from the Earth's crust. But what's really amazing is that these essential building blocks are often hidden in the most unexpected places, and we're going to start with something you use every single day.
So really, think about it for a second. When you're brushing your teeth, have you ever actually stopped to wonder what's doing all the work? You know, the cleaning, the whitening, the protecting? I bet the answer is not what you think it is.
That's right. The secret ingredients giving your toothpaste all its power are actually minerals, literally dug right out of the ground. So let's peel back the label and see what's really inside that tube.
All right, let's take a closer look. That gritty texture that does all the cleaning? That's from abrasive minerals like silica and limestone. The all-important cavity fighter, fluoride? Well, that comes from a mineral called fluorite. Even that bright white color comes from titanium oxide. Oh, and if your toothpaste has a little sparkle to it, you can thank tiny flakes of mica for that. And get this, even the plastic tube in the toothbrush, they start their life as petroleum, another resource we pull from the earth. Wild, right?
And this idea, it goes way beyond just your bathroom sink. It's not just about toothpaste. I mean, just look around you right now. The roads we drive on, the railways, the cars and planes that connect our entire world, all of it is built from minerals and powered by resources from the earth. They are, quite literally, indispensable.
So if these materials are the foundation of, well, everything, you gotta ask the question, where do they actually come from? How does the Earth even create these incredible resources to begin with?
Okay, so geologists have this very specific definition. A mineral is a naturally occurring substance that's consistent and it has a definable internal structure. They can be anything from the softest talc you can imagine to the hardest diamond. And all that variety comes down to the unique physical and chemical conditions they were formed under.
And they form in all these different ways. Some, like copper and zinc, get forced into the cracks and veins of rocks. Others, like coal, form in layers in sedimentary rocks over millions and millions of years with tons of heat and pressure. Bauxite, which is where we get our aluminum from, is basically what's left over after surface rocks break down. And then you've got precious metals like gold, often found washed into value sands. And of course, the oceans themselves are just this huge source of minerals like salt and manganese.
But these incredible geological processes, that's just the start of the story. Actually getting these minerals out of the ground is a massive, massive job. And our dependence on them? Well, it comes with a pretty heavy price tag, both for the people doing the work and for the planet itself.
And this is where things get really serious. There's a real urgency here. As one source puts it, without stricter safety and environmental laws, mining can easily become a killer industry. That oversight is absolutely essential, because the very industry that builds our world can also be incredibly destructive if we're not careful. And the dangers are no joke. For miners, constantly breathing in dust can lead to lung disease, not to mention the ever-present risks of collapses and fires. And for the environment, mining can poison water sources, tear up the land, and pollute rivers with waste. So, the big takeaway here is that how we extract these resources has to be done responsibly. It's just crucial.
And that leads us to the next huge challenge. The minerals we depend on aren't infinite. They are non-renewable. It took millions of years for them to form, and we are just burning through them at an incredible rate.
Just take iron ore, for example. It's not just some random mineral. It is the absolute backbone of our entire industrial world. It's the main ingredient for steel, and steel is in everything, from our cars to our buildings.
And here's what's so fascinating. Look at how concentrated these resources are. In India, for instance, a whopping 97% of all iron ore comes from just 4 states. That just goes to show you how our entire global system is balanced on resources from just a handful of very specific places.
Okay, so what do we do about it? Well, the path forward has to be a big, planned-out effort. We've got to get way better at recycling metals, using scrap as a go-to resource. We need to innovate, come up with new tech that lets us use lower-grade ores that we might have ignored before. And we have to be smart about finding substitutes wherever we can. Our whole industrial future really depends on it.
You know, this whole problem of we're running out of stuff isn't just about the materials we build with, it's also about the energy we use to power everything. The two are deeply connected, and figuring out how we power our societies is just as critical for a sustainable future.
When you boil it all down, we're really looking at 2 different paths forward. There's the conventional path, which relies on finite things like coal and oil, which, are running out and causing huge environmental problems. Then there's the other path,
using non-conventional, renewable sources like solar and wind. That's the sustainable way to go.
And the potential here? It's just huge. A country like India, for example, is blessed with so much sunlight. It has these enormous possibilities for tapping into solar energy. And this isn't some small niche solution. This could fundamentally change the energy game, especially for rural areas, and it helps protect the environment at the same time.
So, in the end, whether we're talking about the minerals in our toothpaste or the energy lighting up our cities, it all comes back to one simple but really powerful idea. The smartest, the cleanest, the most valuable energy out there is the energy we don't have to produce in the first place. Thinking about conservation isn't about limiting ourselves, it's about being innovative. And that's a thought worth holding on to.